Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. We continue our conversation now with Greg Lavelle, Senator Greg Lavelle, who is the minority whip in Delaware. Thank you for sticking around. We were just talking during the break, and I was saying, the legislative agenda is coming up, and I wanted to talk to you about marijuana and the death penalty, and you said, yeah, but people care about the economy. It's just, I'm still going to talk about pot, and because we only have 6 minutes, but please come back, and we'd love to talk about the economy. Yeah. Legalizing marijuana in the state of Delaware. I know the bill ahead of you is for decriminalization. Let's take one at a time. Will that pass?
The decriminalization bill?
Yes.
It depends on what it looks like, I would think. I think there's a movement to try to make it pass. I have concerns about it. I don't think we should just pretend that this isn't a serious issue, and I know it's easy, and culturally we laugh and make jokes about it, but this is serious stuff, particularly as it relates down to younger people. As much as I don't want a younger person to, first of all, I don't think people go to prison for possession of small amounts of marijuana. They just simply don't. If they do, they've got a long rap sheet, and enough's enough, and that's probably why they're there. But generally speaking, but still for records and things like that. So I get the idea behind decriminalizing it. I think if it gets done, it should be a very small weight in terms of what is allowed to be out. If you're truly a recreational marijuana user, you don't need to be running out of your house with an ounce of pot. I think if for multiple offenses, those fines should get significant and at some point maybe come back to being a criminal offense. That's a framework that I would be willing to entertain for decriminalization.
Do you think Republicans would be on board with that?
I'm speaking for myself.
I understand that. The death penalty. Do you think the Delaware will still have one?
I hope so. I opposed the bill before, and I hope so because I think there are serious concerns to eliminate it. First of all, and I do respect those who philosophically and for religious reasons are opposed to it. But when you drill down into a policy, a lot of the ideas and examples that are brought to us, they're not Delaware issues. Most of them are very old when DNA wasn't used widely or used at all. The police and correctional officers believe strongly that it's a deterrent to protect them in their jobs, and I don't disagree with that. I would be opposed to sort of carving out a police and correctional officer because our lives are all worth the same. And I think you can deal with some of these other issues that are challenging with mitigating and aggravating circumstances. If you were poisoned by somebody and somebody wasn't really sure if it was done, and all sort of something, a TV movie on this, well, all right, so you can spend your life in prison. But on the other hand, if you walk into a bank or a school and you shoot 6 people and 2 of them die and 37 people saw you do it and you're on film, that's a different situation.
We're past the midterm elections and now everybody's looking at governor in Delaware. Are you running?
I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to break any news for you today one way or the other. It's a tremendous challenge. It's a challenge for family, for my profession, for my employer, for the responsibilities that I have, to represent the 4th Senate District. But at the same time, it'd be a great opportunity. Delaware's a blue state, so it's not easy to run and win in Delaware as a Republican. Delaware has a lot of challenges, and I think that a healthy economic environment and a healthy environment in general is best achieved with a 2-party system. So we'll think about it.
Do you have a timetable?
I don't. I'm not going to, think about it for a year because on the other hand, if I was to run or somebody else is to run, it is an 18-month to 2-year commitment, I believe, if you want to be serious about it at a minimum. So maybe first quarter next year at the latest, if not before.
What happened to the Republican Party in Delaware?
Well, I'm not sure. I think, there's a demographic shift in younger people. We chatted off camera a little bit about how particularly the last 6 years of the Bush administration, we're in the throes of the war and all of that, did not help Republican registration in Delaware. A lot of younger people are default Democrats, I believe, as a result of the education system, to be perfectly honest with you. And so all those things. And then certainly when you got into 2010, and all that went on that particular year, that didn't help.
You're talking about with Mike Castle?
And Christine O'Donnell. But I want to look forward.
How much did Christine O'Donnell hurt you?
Well, she didn't help us in 2010.
No, she didn't help you in 2010, but there was also an image problem all of a sudden in the state of Delaware.
But then there's an image, I have an image, and others have images, and as we move and work forward, with Charlie Copeland's our chair, he's done a great job, and our chair before that, John Sigler, to settle the place down, to get people recommitted to focusing on what's important to people, which is the economy, which is education, which is a quality of life. Delaware's losing people. Newcastle County is losing people in terms of population, and those opportunities are limited. So I think we'll come back around, and we have come back around on that. We saw that in this particular election with Ken Simpler getting elected. We had, and I think by Ken getting successfully elected, Tom Wagner and others, that may encourage other people who've never thought about running to come out.
And it kind of shows a path too. Yeah. This is how you can succeed statewide. Yeah. Quickly, just before we're running out of time, but the casinos in the state. Is it time to take less money from them?
I'm not opposed to, and we tried to do this last year, but Delaware's economy didn't allow it to be done. I mean, that's how slow we're growing. I've voted a number of times to increase the take for the state. I don't really consider it a tax, but they call it that. And so to refuse to say, okay, well, let's look at it the other way, because at the end of the day, the state of Delaware is in business with these casinos. We are business partners, and if you're in a business relationship, and things suddenly don't go well and you want to stick it to your partner, you're not going to have a very good relationship or business.
They're saying they're suffering, it could cost jobs. It is an exorbitant rate that you're taking compared to other states like New Jersey.
But they're not doing well either. I mean, casinos are actually closing in New Jersey.
Right, but they're not doing it because the state's taking too much money. The casinos here are claiming that they're going under because the state's taking too much of their profit.
And also increased regional competition has something to do with it. And that's why the New Jersey casinos are closing. I mean, we have, go up the line in Pennsylvania, go down the line in Maryland, they're all over the place. But I'm not opposed. You can't do it forever to take a look, to recalculate and reconsider the arrangement, but at some point you got to sink or swim.
All right. Thank you so much for sticking around.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. If you announce, come on back.
Happy to.
We'll be back with some people from the Brandywine Zoo, some human, some not human, in a moment.